The epidemic of negative thinking. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, how often do you catch your own mind working against you? That inner voice whispers doubts, reminds you of failures, and convinces you that you are not good enough. It is time to take control. You are not alone. Research shows that 85% of people struggle with low self-esteem due to negative self-talk. But here is the real question. Are these thoughts facts, or just a habit you have been conditioned to believe? Take action now. If you are ready to challenge these limiting beliefs, hit the like button. Comment below with one negative thought you are letting go of today. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Do it now before negativity takes another day from you. Now, let's dive into a philosophy that has helped warriors, emperors, and great thinkers break free from self-doubt. Stoicism. The great Stoic philosophers Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca believed that suffering does not come from reality itself, but from how we interpret it. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. You already have the power to take control of your thoughts. But if you do not train your mind, negativity will keep winning." So, let's get started. In the next section, we will uncover how your perception, more than reality itself, shapes your experience of life. Hit subscribe now if you are ready to master your mindset and take control. Let's begin. The epidemic of negative thinking. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, how often do you catch your own mind working against you? That inner voice whispers doubts, reminds you of failures, and convinces you that you are not good enough. It is time to take control. You are not alone. Research shows that 85% of people struggle with low self-esteem due to negative self-talk. But here is the real question. Are these thoughts facts, or just a habit you have been conditioned to believe? Take action now. If you are ready to challenge these limiting beliefs, hit the like button. Comment below with one negative thought you are letting go of today. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Do it now before negativity takes another day from you. Now, let's dive into a philosophy that has helped warriors, emperors, and great thinkers break free from self-doubt. Stoicism. The great Stoic philosophers Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca believed that suffering does not come from reality itself, but from how we interpret it. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. You already have the power to take control of your thoughts. But if you do not train your mind, negativity will keep winning." So, let's get started. In the next section, we will uncover how your perception, more than reality itself, shapes your experience of life. Hit subscribe now if you are ready to master your mindset and take control. Let's begin. The consequences of negative thinking. Negative thinking isn't just an occasional annoyance. It shapes our moods, decisions, and even our future. It influences how we feel about ourselves, how we approach challenges, and how we connect with others. Left unchecked, it creates a cycle of self-doubt and stagnation. How does this play out in daily life? Moods. Wake up thinking, today will be terrible, and you'll notice every inconvenience reinforcing the belief. Career choices. If you believe, I'm not good enough, you'll hesitate to apply for promotions, take risks, or pursue passions, limiting your growth. Relationships, expecting abandonment or betrayal. You might unconsciously push people away, fulfilling your own fear. This is the self-fulfilling prophecy of negative thinking, where beliefs shape actions, reinforcing the very thoughts we started with. The more we dwell on failure, the more likely we are to behave in ways that confirm it. It's like looking at life through a dirty lens. Everything appears darker than it really is. Plato's insight: reality is created by the mind. Plato famously said, "Reality is created by the mind." We can change our reality by changing our mind. This isn't just philosophy, it's psychology. Our thoughts determine our interpretation of the world, and our actions shape our experiences. Two people can face the same obstacle. One sees it as proof they should give up. The other sees it as a challenge to overcome. Their realities become vastly different, not because of the event itself, but because of their perception. Here's the good news. Just as negative thoughts reinforce failure, positive thoughts reinforce success. By recognizing our mental habits, we can break the cycle and shape a more empowering reality. Next, we'll explore where negative thinking comes from and how to stop it at its source. How negative thinking develops. Negative thinking doesn't appear overnight. It takes root over time, shaped by our environment, experiences, and even brain wiring. Left unchallenged, these patterns become ingrained, influencing our self-perception, decisions, and mindset. But where does it all begin? The modern influence, social media, and comparison. One of the biggest sources of negative thinking today is social media. Every time we scroll through highlight reels of other people's lives, we compare ourselves, often unconsciously. We see perfect vacations, dream jobs, flawless relationships, and success stories, while measuring ourselves against an illusion. But here's what social media doesn't show: the failures behind success, the struggles hidden behind the smiles, the ordinary moments of self-doubt. Constant exposure to these filtered realities reinforces the feeling of, "I'm not enough." But these comparisons are not reality. They are selective storytelling. Childhood influences, the foundation of self-perception. Negative thinking often begins in childhood. The way we were spoken to, treated, and the expectations placed on us shape our inner dialogue. Consider these examples. A child repeatedly told, "You're not good enough," may carry that belief into adulthood. A student punished for making mistakes may develop a deep fear of failure. A perfectionist environment may leave someone feeling like they'll never be enough, no matter how much they achieve. These early messages become the mental scripts we replay daily. Without examination, they fuel self-doubt and limit our potential. The brain's negativity, bias, why we focus on threats even without external influences. Our brains are wired to focus on the negative. Psychologists call this the negativity bias, a survival mechanism from our ancestors. In prehistoric times, ignoring danger, like a lurking predator, could mean death. As a result, our brains became highly attuned to negative experiences, storing them more vividly than positive ones. In today's world, this bias no longer protects us from physical threats, but still fuels anxiety, fear, and self-doubt. It makes us dwell on criticism over praise, failures over successes, and worst-case scenarios over possibilities. Breaking free from conditioned negativity. Understanding where negative thinking comes from is the first step to breaking free. Whether it's social media, childhood experiences, or brain wiring, we don't have to be prisoners of these patterns. The Stoics believed awareness is power. Once we recognize these influences, we can begin to challenge and rewire our thought patterns. Next, we'll explore how Stoic training helps us escape negativity and build resilience. Breaking free with Stoic Mind Training. If negative thinking is so deeply ingrained, how do we break free? Stoicism offers a mental training system to help us regain control over our thoughts and emotions. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This captures the core of Stoicism. Our peace, confidence, and clarity come from mastering our minds, not external circumstances. Cognitive distance. Becoming an observer of the mind, most people react automatically to their thoughts, believing them without question. If a thought like, "I'll never succeed," appears, they accept it as truth. But Stoicism teaches us that thoughts are not facts. They are just mental events. A powerful technique to break free is cognitive distance, learning to step back and observe your thoughts instead of identifying with them. Instead of thinking, "I'm failing," say, "My mind is having a thought about failure." Instead of, "I'm not good enough," say, "I notice my mind is producing self-doubt." This simple shift creates space between you and your thoughts, preventing them from controlling your emotions. The visualization exercise, watching thoughts like passing clouds. To train this skill, try this Stoic exercise. Picture yourself standing outside your own mind. See your thoughts as clouds drifting by, some dark and heavy, others light and harmless. Instead of reacting, simply observe them pass. Some will linger, but none define you. This reinforces a core Stoic belief. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer. Breaking free and taking control. Stoic training isn't about eliminating thoughts. It's about mastering your response to them. Negative thoughts will arise, but with cognitive distance and mindful observation, you can choose which thoughts to entertain and which to discard. Next, we'll explore how fear fuels negative thinking and how Stoicism helps us conquer it. Fear and negative thinking. At the core of most negative thoughts lies fear. Fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown. It often operates silently, fueling hesitation, self-doubt, and inaction. Think about it. You avoid a challenge, not because you lack skill, but because you fear failing. You stay quiet in a conversation, not because you have nothing to say, but because you fear judgment. You remain in an unfulfilling situation, not because it's right, but because you fear uncertainty. Fear distorts reality, making obstacles seem larger than they are. When it becomes a pattern, it traps us in negative thinking and inaction. The Stoic solution. Premeditatio malorum. The Stoics countered fear with premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Instead of avoiding fear, they faced it head-on by imagining the worst-case scenario. Let's say you fear career failure. A Stoic would ask, what's the absolute worst that could happen? Would it ruin your life or just be a setback? If the worst did happen, how would I respond? Could I recover, adapt, or learn from it? Has anyone else survived something similar? If they did, why wouldn't I? By vividly imagining the worst before it happens, you rob fear of its power. Most of the time, the actual outcome is far less dramatic than our minds make it seem. Marcus Aurelius practiced this method daily, reminding himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When you anticipate and accept possible hardships, fear loses its control. You respond rationally instead of emotionally. You stop avoiding challenges and start facing them with clarity and confidence. Jung's contribution. Making the unconscious conscious. Psychologist Carl Jung echoed this Stoic insight, writing, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Most fears stem from unconscious beliefs, shaped by childhood, past failures, and societal expectations. Because they go unexamined, they silently dictate our choices. But once we bring fear into the light, analyze it and understand it, it loses its grip. We take back control. The first step to fearless thinking. Breaking free from fear starts with one question. What am I really afraid of? Once you stop running from fear and start questioning it, you'll see it for what it truly is. An illusion, magnified by the mind. Next, we'll explore how your environment, your social circle, media, and surroundings can reinforce negativity and how you can take back control. The role of environment in thought patterns. If you want to understand why negative thinking persists, look at your environment. Thoughts are not random. They are shaped by what we expose ourselves to daily. One of the biggest modern challenges to mental well-being is social media. We are constantly bombarded with curated highlights of success, beauty, and wealth. Without realizing it, we compare ourselves. We start questioning why we are not as successful, why we do not look as good, or why others seem happier than us. This constant exposure breeds self-doubt, fuels negativity, and creates a false sense of inadequacy, even when we are doing just fine. The Stoic response. Be selective about your inputs. The Stoics understood that what we consume shapes our thinking. Seneca advised that we should associate with people who are likely to improve us. This principle applies not just to friendships, but also to the media we consume. The books we read, the shows we watch, and the social media accounts we follow either serve as mental nourishment or mental poison. If you surround yourself with negativity, your mind will reflect it. But if you fill it with wisdom, philosophy, and positive influences, you rewire your thoughts for growth and resilience. Declutter your digital space. Take a moment to audit your mental environment. Ask yourself what kind of content you consume daily and whether it empowers or discourages you. Consider who you follow on social media and whether they inspire you or create self-doubt. Think about the conversations you engage in and whether they are constructive or draining. Take action by unfollowing accounts that trigger self-doubt. Mute or remove sources of negativity. Follow pages aligned with wisdom, growth, and philosophy. Engage in discussions that uplift rather than drain your energy. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If you want to break free from negative thinking, start by changing the inputs that shape your mind. In the next section, we will explore specific Stoic exercises to retrain your thoughts for resilience, strength, and peace. Practical Stoic exercises for mental renewal. Breaking free from negative thinking is not a one-time decision. It requires daily training of the mind. Just as athletes strengthen their bodies through physical exercise, the Stoics practiced mental exercises to build resilience, clarity, and peace. These techniques have stood the test of time and can be just as effective today. Here are 3 Stoic exercises you can start using immediately to break negative thought patterns and renew your mindset. Journaling. Like Marcus Aurelius, challenge. Your own thoughts. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers and Roman emperors, kept a private journal where he examined his worries, fears, and reflections. Writing was his tool for self-examination and logical reasoning. How to apply it. Each night, write down a negative thought that has been bothering you. Analyze it objectively by asking, is this thought based on facts or assumptions? Am I seeing the situation clearly, or is emotion distorting my perception? What would a wise and rational person say about this? By writing and dissecting your thoughts, you gain clarity and regain control from negative emotions. The Socratic method. Question everything. Socrates. Believed wisdom begins with questioning. Challenging assumptions rather than blindly accepting them helps eliminate negative thinking. How to apply it. The next time you think, "I'm not good enough," or "I always fail," pause and ask, "Is this absolutely true? What evidence do I have for and against this belief? Could I be seeing this from a distorted perspective?" By questioning irrational thoughts, you weaken their power. Most negative beliefs collapse under logical scrutiny. The 10-year rule. Will this matter? The Stoics focused on the big picture rather than getting caught up in fleeting worries. One way to apply this is through the 10-year rule. How to apply it. When overwhelmed by a negative thought, ask, "Will this matter in 10 years? Will I even remember this moment? Or is it just a temporary setback?" Most worries fade with time. The Stoics remind us to focus on what truly matters instead of wasting energy on insignificant concerns. Mental renewal. Through Stoicism, by consistently practicing journaling, questioning assumptions, and using the 10-year rule, you train your mind to become more rational, resilient, and free from unnecessary negativity. Negative thoughts will always arise, but how you respond to them is what truly matters. In the next section, we will explore how to turn negative thoughts into fuel for growth through a concept called thought alchemy. Transforming negative thoughts into strength. Negative thoughts, when left unchecked, can be destructive. But what if we could turn them into something useful, something that strengthens rather than weakens us? This is the essence of thought alchemy. Thought alchemy. Turning mental poison into power alchemy was the ancient practice of transforming base metals into gold. What if we applied the same idea to our thoughts? Instead of allowing negativity to drain us, we can convert it into resilience, motivation, and clarity. How to apply it. Instead of thinking, "I am not good enough," reframe it as, "I am learning and growing." Instead of saying, "I always fail," turn it into, "Every failure is a lesson that makes me stronger." Instead of fearing challenges, remind yourself, "This is an opportunity to test my resilience." This approach does not ignore reality. It simply chooses a perspective that fuels growth rather than self-doubt. Aristotle's wisdom. Excellence is a habit. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. This means our thoughts and actions shape our identity over time. If we consistently give in to negative thinking, it becomes our default mindset. But if we practice thought alchemy, turning every setback into a lesson, we develop a habit of mental strength. The power of daily affirmations. Affirmations are not about blind positivity. They are about training the mind to think in a constructive way. Instead of allowing automatic negative thoughts to dominate, we choose what kind of inner dialogue we reinforce. How to apply it. Start each morning with one powerful affirmation. Instead of "I cannot handle this," say, "I am capable and resourceful." Instead of "I will never be successful," say, "I am taking steps every day toward success." Affirmations help retrain the brain by shifting focus toward possibilities rather than limitations. Mental transformation is a daily practice. Negative thoughts will always arise, but how we respond determines whether they weaken or strengthen us. By practicing thought alchemy, building strong habits, and reinforcing empowering beliefs, we can transform mental challenges into fuel for growth. In the next section, we will explore how the words we use, both internally and externally, shape our reality, and how Stoic philosophy teaches us to use language as a tool for self-mastery. The power of words in reshaping our reality. Our words hold incredible power. The way we speak to ourselves and others shapes our perception of reality. Whether we realize it or not, our inner dialogue dictates confidence, resilience, and our ability to handle challenges. Think about how often you say things like, "I cannot do this. I always mess things up. I am not good enough." These are not just words, they are beliefs in disguise. The more we repeat them, the more they solidify in our minds, shaping how we see ourselves and the world. But what if we could change? This Epictetus's guidance. Master your words, master your mind. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus emphasized the importance of language, saying, "First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak." This is not just about choosing better words. It is about understanding their impact. When we tell ourselves we are weak, we begin to act weak. If we say we are incapable, we hesitate to try. But the opposite is also true. If we speak strength, we act with strength. If we speak resilience, we build resilience. If we speak progress, we make progress. The 24-hour challenge. Monitor your internal dialogue. To fully grasp the power of words, try this simple challenge. Step 1. Observe your self-talk. For the next 24 hours, pay attention to how you speak to yourself. Notice every negative, limiting, or discouraging thought. Step 2. Rewrite the script. Whenever you catch yourself thinking negatively, immediately reframe it. Examples: I cannot do this. I will figure this out. I always fail. I am learning and improving. I am not good enough. I am growing every day. This small shift rewires your brain to think in terms of possibilities rather than limitations. Words shape reality. Choose wisely. The way you speak to yourself becomes the way you live. If you want to reshape your mindset, start with your words. The Stoics understood this deeply, and modern psychology confirms it. Our self-talk influences our confidence, decision-making, and resilience. In the next section, we will explore how the environment we create, including the people we surround ourselves with, affects our mindset and self-perception. Surrounding yourself with positivity. Our thoughts are not formed in isolation. They are shaped by our environment, the people around us, and the ideas we consume daily. If you want to overcome negative thinking, you must be intentional about what and who you allow into your mental space. Marcus Aurelius. Curating a life of wisdom. As Emperor of Rome, Marcus Aurelius was surrounded by politics, conflict, and temptation. Yet he remained one of the greatest Stoic philosophers because he carefully curated his surroundings. He kept a personal journal, meditations, where he engaged in daily self-reflection. He avoided flattery and corrupt influences, choosing instead to surround himself with those who upheld virtue and wisdom. He spent time reading, contemplating philosophy, and engaging with ideas that strengthened his character. His environment was not just physical, it was mental. He carefully selected the voices, teachings, and relationships that contributed to his growth rather than his downfall. Now, ask yourself, what is shaping my mindset every day? Audit. Your social circle. Are they lifting you up or holding you back? The people you spend time with play a significant role in how you think and feel. The Stoic philosopher Seneca advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Take an honest look at your social circle and ask, do my friends challenge me to grow or reinforce my self-doubt? Are my conversations focused on progress or negativity? Am I surrounded by people who inspire and push me forward? You do not need to cut people out of your life completely, but you must be mindful of how they influence your thinking. Seek relationships based on mutual growth, wisdom, and support. Plato's allegory of the cave. Expanding your mental world. Plato's famous allegory of the cave tells the story of prisoners who lived their entire lives chained inside a dark cave, believing that shadows on the wall were reality. When one prisoner finally escaped and saw the outside world, he realized how limited his perspective had been. The lesson? If we only surround ourselves with negativity, limiting beliefs, and unhealthy environments, we risk becoming trapped in a mental cave. We see only shadows of what life could be, instead of our full potential. To escape the cave, we must actively seek wisdom, knowledge, and uplifting influences. Read books that challenge and inspire you. Engage in discussions that elevate rather than drain you. Surround yourself with people who embody the mindset you aspire to have. The choice. Stay in the cave or step into the light. Your environment shapes your mind, so shape your environment wisely. Curate your surroundings like Marcus Aurelius. Choose uplifting relationships. Expand your mental world beyond limitations. In the next section, we will discuss the final and most crucial step, turning all of this knowledge into action. Taking Stoic action. All the wisdom in the world is meaningless if it is not applied. The Stoics didn't just study philosophy, they lived it through daily action. Breaking free from negative thinking isn't about waiting for a sudden transformation. It's about practicing small, consistent steps every day. Every choice you make, no matter how small, is a step toward either reinforcing negativity or cultivating resilience. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus gave a simple but profound piece of advice. First, say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. This means defining the kind of person you want to become, and then taking action to align with that identity. If you want to be mentally strong, act as if you already are. If you want to be less anxious, practice calm thinking. Every day, if you want to overcome negative thoughts, start questioning and reframing them. Change begins not with hoping, but with doing. Even if you don't feel confident yet, act as if you are. Over time, action reshapes identity. Too often, we focus on big changes and ignore the small daily victories that shape our mindset. Micro-victories are the small, consistent wins that build mental resilience over time. Noticing a negative thought and challenging it, choosing to respond calmly instead of reacting emotionally, breaking a limiting belief by taking a small, courageous step. These are the moments that slowly transform your thinking. Each time you win a small battle against negativity, your mind becomes stronger. Over time, these micro-victories turn into lasting mental habits. Marcus Aurelius ended each day with self-reflection, reviewing his thoughts and actions. You can do the same with a simple Stoic exercise. Before going to sleep, take 5 minutes to reflect on your day. Ask yourself, where did I overcome a negative thought today? How did I respond to a challenge with wisdom? What is one small win I can build on tomorrow? By making this a daily habit, you'll train yourself to see progress rather than setbacks, reinforcing a mindset of growth. The Stoics believed that action defines us, not just thinking about change, but doing it daily. Decide who you want to become. Take small, consistent actions. Celebrate every micro-victory and end each day with reflection and growth. This is how you reclaim your mind, one choice at a time. In the final section, we'll wrap up with a powerful reminder. You already have everything you need to master your thoughts and create a stronger, more resilient life. At the heart of Stoicism lies a simple but profound truth. Controlling your mind means controlling your life. Your thoughts shape your emotions shape your actions, and your actions shape your reality. The way you respond to challenges, Setbacks and fears is entirely within your control. Negative thinking can be a prison, but Stoic wisdom offers the key to escape. The question now is, what will you do with this knowledge? Philosophy is useless unless it is applied. If you've made it this far, don't just walk away with interesting ideas, turn them into action. Start today by applying at least one Stoic strategy from this video. Whether it's practicing cognitive distance, using thought alchemy to reframe negative beliefs, decluttering your mental environment, or ending your day with a Stoic reflection, take a small but meaningful step toward mastering your mind. Every challenge in life presents a choice. You can either let it defeat you or use it as an opportunity for growth. The Stoics remind us that we are not victims of our thoughts. We are their masters. The question is, will you choose to let negativity dictate your life, or will you take back control? The choice is yours. If this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. And if you want to continue your journey into Stoicism, click on the next video. Let's keep growing together. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Choose wisely.